Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, let me introduce myself. My name is Jules. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a commercial food photographer and stylist and cookbook author and lifelong planner. And every single Saturday, we sit here for an hour and a half and we chat and we talk about our weeks that was, what's coming up in our lives, what's going on, stuff like that. We just hang out. If you're watching, come say hi and chat and let me know what you're working on. And whether that's just, some people just sit around and hang out, some people knit, some people do some type of art or craft, whatever. Come say hi, let me know what you're working on. So my hands are extra stiff this morning. I can't really grasp anything. Typically on this Saturday, I would be setting up my week in my business Takeout A5, but instead, what I'm doing is I am getting pages ready in my Takeout A5 that I use for health and fitness, food planning, and I'm just going to be doing the color coding, decorating, just getting it ready so that when it's time to plan, I can put stuff in it. And my camera is a little bit laggy. Hopefully that clears up soon. I don't understand why it would be. Just reset everything. So yeah, and that's what I'm doing because I can barely hold a pen, but I can hold it enough where I can color. So my colors will be on blue. That's the wrong blue. This is the right blue. 491 and yellow. I think this is 02 something. um, I will be able to tell you here. That's next. So start with. I'm not going to make any sense right now. I'm just going to do it. And you don't have to know what I'm doing, per se. But eventually, like all of this is where I put in stuff like my macros and when I'm cooking, what type of meal day it is. Just, I have my own code, like everything when I'm planning. I have my own codes, and I have to make sure yellow is next. I'm pretty sure it is. Yes. So last week, I was not here because I couldn't brain, and I'm having a really hard problem braining today. I'm on holiday, but I'm in a really heavy training schedule right now. 4 weeks from today is my first bodybuilding competition of the year. And it's just a really heavy training cycle. Um, and then I guess it would be 2 weeks ago tomorrow. Hello, Anomic. What are you working on? So yeah, 2 weeks ago tomorrow, we had to take one of our dogs again to the emergency vet. For the same reason that our dogs always end up in the emergency vet. They get these non-cancerous tumors that just suddenly appear um, and rupture. And I'm saying, well, 4 weeks, it seems like it was 9 yesterday, right? It's like 1,000. There's like no time. Yeah, so they just appear quickly and rupture. And this time it was Ziggy. And so we had to take him down to the vet. And that was exhausting in itself, just that whole day. And we have to give him like a whole bunch of different medications throughout the day. And it's just a lot. And then we learned our landlord died. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it here recently or not, but we knew he was getting older and he's not been exactly well. And our landlord is great. Like every single Christmas, he gives us a free turkey and bottles of wine and we've lived here since 2014. It will be April 1st. It will be, yeah, April 1st is when we moved in here, 2014. So it's coming up on 11 years that we've been in this house. And we've been concerned that if he dies, because this property, the house that we live in, is worth a ridiculous amount of money right now, just like all real estate is in Canada. And he owns a lot of different houses and a lot of different properties. And if his children wanted, they could become multi-millionaires just by selling off his properties and getting out of the landlording business. And they're not like the bad evil corporate landlords. Like he was really good landlord. Um, oh, like anytime there was like anything that needed a repair. Anyways, just really, we've never had problems here. Um, and thankfully, I mean, thankfully his daughter is taking over the properties, and she has no plans to sell, and she has no plans to evict us. Like she said, we've been good tenants here for over a decade, and they don't want that to end. So that part is nice, but it's also, I mean, yeah. I've had a couple of weeks. So heavy training, another dog, having to go to emergency, my landlord dying. Um, yeah, and I'm just not. I can't brain. Yes, it is good news, that part of it, anomic. So, and I'm having stress dreams, like really bad stress dreams about the competition, like suddenly appearing on stage and my body being covered in scars and completely forgetting how to pose and what my posing routine is, um, all that fun stuff. So I just, yeah, is this, do I have my deload? No, I don't. I think this is when deload, hold on, I have to go back. 18th, 25th is when, so that needs to be, I'm going to do this now so I don't forget this. Like that. Just doing some color coding here. Wait, I think that's wrong. I think I screwed up. I did. That's fine. I'm not shopping that day, am I? Oh, I might. No, I'm shopping the Friday before. But this is grocery delivery day on Monday. Yep, I knew I should have checked this first. Yeah, not having to approve. Yes, exactly. But even if we were, like, the whole thing, there is no place for us to rent that we can afford. So because we've been in this place for 11 years, there's only so much your landlord's allowed to up your rent every single year if it's a rental property. So our rent has increased, even though it's been a few $100s over the last 100 years, or 100 years over the last decade. It's not like this huge rent increase. However, if they were to sell and we were to find another, like you can't get a two-bedroom apartment for less than what we pay for our five-bedroom house, four-bedroom house. So like we would be paying more. Yeah, Anomic's saying yes, we have to stick to 3% a year. Yeah, ours is whatever the rate of inflation is. So anywhere from 2 to 4%, depending on what the rate of inflation is what the housing increase is. So yeah, at most, yeah, exactly. It's similar here. So, but if we were to move out, like the cheapest place that we could find is $1,000 more a month than we are paying now, and that is for an apartment and not a house. So we would be screwed. It would be cheaper for us to move into a hotel, but where do we put the dogs and the cats and all of our stuff? Like, even there are hotels that allow pets, they don't allow four pets. Like, we would have been It was terrifying. It was like our most terrifying thought is what would happen if um, we had to move out. So I should have made this blue. I should have checked this first. I screwed up. 26 is groceries. That's made. Yeah. Nope. Yes. I'll just have to ignore the next one. So yeah, it was. It's been a couple weeks, and then my hands. I don't know why they're all inflamed, but they're puffy, and it like my arthritis is acting up pretty badly, and it makes like I'm not doing anything. Well, actually, I've been cross stitching, so that could very much be it. Holding that needle. Anomic's saying that is a major downside to renting if you are settled into a place. Yes. Yep, it's because everything else around you goes up while your place doesn't. We're hoping the housing market is finally starting to cool down. More rentals are going up, and so we're hoping that because the housing market is finally starting to cool, especially because it's now mandatory that all municipalities in British Columbia have to increase their housing stock, and just because like we've had a 0% vacancy rate where I live for over 10 years now. And it's now our unhoused population has like there's just a whole bunch of it's caused a huge increase in the unhoused population, plus rents and real estate to get overly inflated, and just all sorts of issues. And so our provincial government has made laws that municipalities have to change regulations and not building codes, but regulations to make it easier to develop housing and to speed up the time for permits and stuff like that. Um, and so much out of every apartment that's built, a specific percentage of it has to be low income housing, and a certain percentage of it has to be um, disability accessible, so like wheelchair accessible, because none of that is mandatory. We have no laws in Canada about buildings having to be accessible for disabled people. Um, BC is the very first province to at least, and it's not even all housing. It's just a certain part of how a certain percentage of our apartment buildings now have to be wheelchair accessible and universal design, like with lower light switches and stuff. Which is wild because Canada people think of Canada as this progressive place, but in some ways we have a long way to go when it comes to things like just basic accessibility. Like you still have to Google whether or not somebody has a wheelchair ramp or whether or not their building is wheelchair accessible, because that's not mandatory. Isn't that wild? Like it's absolutely wild to think about. So yeah. Um, what else? And yeah, it is very behind. Oh, and then tomorrow we're likely to be going into an election, which I can't say the word, but there's a certain orange person that I think is actually doing Canada a huge favor, because there was a minute there where it looked very, very certain that we were going to get a conservative government. And nope, that's completely opposite now. And I'm like saying Mexico is very inaccessible too. Yeah, that one doesn't really surprise me too much. But it's good to know that if I ever just like Mexico is not a good place for me to travel to because I need to be able to travel to accessible places. Also, like this only just been very, very recently that airlines have to like there's even some type of accessibility in airlines. They still can break our wheelchairs, but it's they're starting to have like regulations in where that's they can no longer do that. Monomic is saying it looked like the right was winning before up there. Yeah. Most of that had to do though is that they were angry with JT had long outlived prime ministers here. Like a lot of people think it's wild that we don't have term limits, but the Canadian population is really good at setting term limits for politicians. And after we give our politicians about 10 years before we'll either have a new, like if they don't resign, we will vote in a new party just to spite ourselves because the politician has outlived their shelf life. That's just how it has always worked in Canadian politics. Um, and people thought that it would change, but the proof is, as soon as JT resigned and a new person was put in place, like people were tired with JT, they weren't actually tired with the Liberal Party. And so, and just because the other guy really, really likes to talk like the orange person, and people are starting to finally pay, like it's now so close to an election that people are paying attention to what's going on. Normally, Canadians don't pay attention until our 5 week election period and like the 4 weeks leading up to it. Outside of that, Canadians are just like, you've outlived your usefulness. It's time for you to move on. How do I fix that so I don't write anything there? Do I put a line through it? I ran out of my whiteout tape. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna leave it just in case. So, but yeah, we're unlikely to have a end of the last Monday in April is likely to be our election date. Okay, so setting up my pages now, or setting up this part. So this is gonna be grocery delivery. I can't write, this hurts so much. And HelloFresh delivery. So, do I just put delivery day normally? Yeah, I think so. Hold on. That's wrong. Yes. I think I'll put the number in later. I have like a whole bunch of codes and stuff. So this is my HelloFresh delivery day. Which I'm still forever grateful that I'm able to still continue to incorporate that and get what I need to train, and that it's still cheaper. Like they have not increased their pricing yet to catch up with inflation. And I suspect it's because a lot of their produce is locally sourced, like BC grown. Like every province that it ships from, they first source local to that province before they source outwards, and then a lot of it is stuff that um is like close enough to their best buy date that they probably get it cheaper for cheaper like when it comes anyways when they buy it from their suppliers. So ranges, no, am I gonna write that there? Yes, I am. Ranges, ideals, macro targets. No cal targets. Whoops. Um, and then I'm not planning this week, so none and none. This is my last week after my competition. I'm taking 2 weeks off of exercise and meal planning, though I have like ideas of things that I do want to eat. Because if I don't have some idea of what I want to eat, I'll have option paralysis when it comes time to cook. But it's not going to be like this in-depth thing. Like this is my in-depth meal planning. It's not going to be this. It's like just these sticky notes of kind of ideas of what I want to cook on what day. And then I'm going to be doing a lot of ordering in. So I'm not doing any meal. I'm going to track after the fact though what I eat because I'm very interested in what or how I eat when I'm not. So I don't currently restrict, but I still have to eat within the confines of making sure I meet so much protein, so much carbs, so much fat every single day, and get a surplus of calories, right? Like there's still guidelines, even though I still eat everything and don't restrict. Like what I'm eating, there's still a framework in which I have to eat. And so for these 2 weeks following competition, I'm not doing any exercising. That's going to be difficult to just like not do any. I'll still do my like movement breaks and stuff, but I'm not going to be doing any like structured going to the gym for 2 weeks. Wish me luck. Like I'm probably going to be climbing the walls by the end of it. Um, Probably really, really grumpy because it's like totally helps with my mental health. And then I'm just eating, I'm going to track after the fact what I eat because I am completely interested in how I eat because I have planned everything for over 2 years now for fueling my body for training. And so I don't know, like, am I eat like what's it gonna look like when I just be like, oh, I want to eat this? Am I going to and I'm like saying, can you do yoga or stretching? So yes, I can do that. Also, what I do, so I work on a Pomodoro method where I work for 20 minutes and then to move my body because I have to move. I get on I used to do dance breaks, but because I can't do that anymore because of my spinal cord tumor, I hop on my stationary bike, I put in some music, and I just lightly cycle and giving my body a chance to tell me if I need to have a snack or if I have to use the washroom or if I'm thirsty. And so I do that, work 20 minutes, then do movement for 10 minutes. So that I'm still going to do. So it's not like I'm going to be completely stationary. So I'll still do my stretching that I have to do, and I'll still do my movement breaks while I'm working. And that's not structured, like that's not a workout. That's just me taking movement breaks because I need to take them. Otherwise, my spinal cord tumor pain gets too noisy. And if I don't take those structured breaks, then I miss my hunger cues and I miss my bladder cues and I miss my thirst cues. So it's just a part of being autistic. So I need to have those breaks to allow my body to give my body a chance to let me know if there's anything that I need to be doing to keep it alive in those moments. Otherwise, I get really too hyper focused, and my lack of interoception goes on hard drive, and I will go 14 hours without eating or drinking or using the toilet, and then all of a sudden, I wonder why I feel like crap and my bladder is about to explode and I'm hangry. So that part will still be happening because it has to. That part is non-negotiable. What won't be happening is lifting any weights or doing any of my program, like going to the gym to use the elliptical or doing my rhythm cycle crazy, get my heart rate elevated to 150 beats a minute type cardio. So, yeah, um, that actually should not be none. And I messed up there. And I don't have I have to buy a new whiteout strip. And I don't like the one, what was it? It was a Tombow strip, and there was something about the way that it worked and the way that I had to hold it that it made it really janky. And this should not be like this none should not be here because I actually start planning again on the 4th of May. Yes. I can't believe we're already almost there. I mean, it seems like ridiculous, but it is like 6 weeks away. And I plan typically 6 weeks in advance. And so when it comes time, like there's no having to put any thought into what I'm eating really week to week. Cal targets. So yeah, that's how that's going to look. And it's going to be like I haven't taken off a day except for illness in 2.5 years. I have nonstop trained. Anomic saying that they just have a regular Bic whiteout. So is it the because when I was last time I used Bic whiteout, it was a brush. Is it the tape roller type or is it a brush? Write this down. Bic whiteout. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how. We'll see how my brain copes. The tape kind. Okay, tape. Just because autism and habits and routines and just not doing, and also like exercising keeps my anxiety in check. It prevents me, well, not prevents me, but it helps keep my stimulation in check so I don't have autistic meltdowns. Like, I exercise because it is vital to my mental health. So vital to my mental health. So, we'll see how this goes. I'm nervous, but I need it, especially because I am competing up to 4 times this year. That's really hard on your body, especially because of how lean you have to get for the stage. And so it's time I take a break. My trainer says I'm long overdue, and they're glad that I spoke up and said that I was planning to take a break because they were planning to have a talk with me about when it is time for me to have a break because I'm way overdue. Now I need to put the macro targets, even though there are none. Still writing it up or writing it there. Macro targets. What else? I don't know. Life is very. I don't want to say routine right now because my landlord dying and my having to take another dog to the emergency vet is, I mean, it's things that happen in life, but it's definitely not routine. Breakfast, snack one. Still waiting to be able to announce lunch. Some exciting stuff. It's killing me. Oh, I think I can talk about this. This past week I was interviewed. There's this health platform. It's a therapy platform specifically for autistic people. By like all the therapists are autistic, and all of everything that goes into the protocols are all autistic led, and there is a blog, that wellness blog that they use or that they write that's all written by autistic people. Um, and this past week, I was interviewed because they're doing a post on mindfulness and autism, because a lot of autistic people, um, the current principles of what mindfulness and how to do a mindfulness practice is actively harmful to autistic people, and I have created a technique that is not that takes the spirit of what a true mindfulness practice looks like and makes it safe for autistics. So that was really fun, um, thing that I did this week. That wasn't just me eating and going to the gym and getting ready for my first competition of the year. Oh, and tickets for people who want to live stream. Actually, I'm going to put that link in chat in case anybody um, wants to watch the live stream. It is, just give me a second here, tickets and pay-per-view. You always jump too far. Pay-per-view, it's $50 Canadian plus taxes. And so this is April 19th. The live stream begins at 9:30 and it is all day long. There we go. I just put the link in chat. Um, the competition, there's morning part of the competition and an afternoon part. I'll put the show schedule also in chat. It's on this page. Hold on. Let's see if it will actually jump to the right place if I click on schedule. There we go. You know what? I'll just do this link. So, where's the live stream? There we go. Okay, so that is, if you click on schedule, it will take you down to the format. Um, there's a morning and afternoon, late afternoon portion. We get on stage and we kind of compete twice. I mean, like we have prejudging and judging, um, and it's a whole day event. So I obviously won't be here doing my stream because I'll be doing that. But I would really like it, anybody who has the financial means to be able to do it, to be able to watch and let me know that you are planning to watch so that I know I have a cheering section there for me. I have some friends that are going to be there in person. I have a few friends that are coming up from the States, which is really amazing. I feel very lucky about that because it's the Easter long weekend here, and Friday and Monday are holidays, and that's not the case in America. So they're taking time off of work, plus travel costs and all of that to come and watch me compete. So, and then anybody who may be watching this who's local, which would surprise the heck out of me, you're obviously invited to attend as well, and you would want to buy the full day pass, because that's where it's all at. I don't know what exact time I will be on stage. There's a whole bunch of different classes for both men's and women's. Um, so you would just have to keep checking about who's being called. I'm competing in classic physique, and I will be. I'm saying very nice. Thank you. I'm competing in classic physique, men's classic physique, and my class is class A, which is men up to 5'4", and I want to say 160 pounds is the weight cap. Um, so because I'm in the smallest height and weight class, I will be, when it comes time for men's classic physique, I will be the first on called, like in that first group called on stage. We all compete based off of class of height, and I'm competing 3 different times. I'm competing in True Novice, which is for first time competitors. I am competing in Masters 40 plus, and that's so for anyone who's 40 years old and plus, and then in Open form, which is all ages, all experience levels for my height and weight. It's going to be a tiring, exhausting day, and I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm also looking forward to it, if that makes sense. I'm not looking forward to the sheer exhaustion. It's going to be a long day. Um, yeah, my day is going to start way earlier than it normally does because I have to get like I have to get my tan done Thursday, and then more tanning Friday before the show, and then my tan has to be touched up between the mornings. So it's my morning competition, go back to my hotel room, eat, shower, tan, and then the afternoon, early evening finals, where the winners are chosen and do. It's only the winners that do their posing routine. So, but you have to prepare a posing routine. We have poses we have to do in a lineup. We're all compared, and then like a posing routine, which is kind of like a dance routine. It's to music, but it's posing. Yes, it is a spray tannonomic. And so we go with. There's like these. They set up these big, huge booths that are. They kind of look like pop-up tents. And you step into these booths wearing various different clothes of various different levels of undressed because they have to like spray basically your whole entire body except for women they wear like pasties. They would get down to like if they were doing a burlesque routine down to that, and then men depending on like so I'm wearing posing trunks and so it covers more of my butt so I can wear a jock strap for my spray tan where a lot of other men will be naked except for a sock. And that's I think the best way that I can explain it in a way that is family friendly for how it happens for men. So but you have to wear less than um, what you'll be wearing on stage. And so men have physique, which is board shorts, and so they get to wear even more when they're getting their spray tan because their shorts go all the way down to their knees. And then I'm in classic physique, and we cover a little bit more. And then the bodybuilding class, they wear very, very skimpy, like less than a Speedo. I'm wearing on stage basically an equal to a Speedo. And so I have to wear slightly less than a Speedo for my spray tan. Lunch. So that's how that works. But we all, like, it's as private as it can be, the fact that we all, like, we have, but it's like this row, and you have an appointment, and you go in, and it's just, you step in, they spray, oh, and I also have to have makeup done. They do your makeup as well. They match your, so they used to, so here's the thing. If you were to watch old competitions, um, it looks like there's a lot of blackface going on because they spray you super super dark, like much darker than you would ever naturally tan, so that all of your muscles really show up under the lighting. It creates those extra shadows, so that all your heart, otherwise you would all of it would be washed out and your muscles would not show up under lighting. So they spray tan you super dark, so that your all of your hard work shows off. Um, and they used to spray tan the face, and it would look, in many cases, like blackface. It was not a good look. Now it has gotten to the point where it costs extra, but if you want to not look like blackface but still have your face match your body tan, then for an extra part of the package, you pay for makeup. So I'm doing both a spray tan, makeup, glaze to give my body some extra look like I'm wearing baby oil, because that also makes your body stand out, your muscles stand out more. And then a touch up in between so that I can shower between shows, because sweating makes you, or posing makes you sweat a lot. It's a lot of work to like flex all your muscles really, really tight and then hold it for like 30 seconds. It hurts actually. Like it's painful, and you start to sweat, and it's gross. It's not pleasant. It is not pleasant at all. And why we do this snack too is actually a bit of a mystery. Anomic is saying, "Stay away from Diddy after that." That's hilarious. Uh, hilarious! I almost snorted. That is too funny. So yeah, that so Friday we have like some athletes of us firsthand. Got to check in, and check in is where they weigh you and they see how tall you are, because that determines where you compete. Even though you sign up thinking you are a certain height and going to be a certain weight, they still have to weigh you and measure your height to confirm, and then they will place you in whatever class you're supposed to be in. Um, you don't it doesn't change like your fees or anything. It just either confirms or moves you to a different class. Um, and then there's like some type of like meet and greet thing on the day before as well. So that's Friday. Saturday is competition. Sunday is where all of the people who placed in the top, I want to say three, maybe it's the top five, that get to go on to compete for a chance at the pros, at the pro qualifiers. Whomever places to be able to compete in the pro qualifiers, they go back on Sunday for photographs, and so that happens on Sunday, and then Monday we all go back. Athletes arrive on Wednesday though, so that gives us Thursday to kind of have a day of rest before. Um, yeah, we check on Wednesday. Thursday we kind of rest. Friday begins 3 days of nonstop stuff. dinner. This is all messy. I mean, I normally don't care, but it's bothering me that my hands are so cramped, and it kind of makes me nervous about whether or not I am going to be able to, like, because it's probably a mixture. I've been doing cross stitching. I'm doing a thing. I designed a pattern for a friend. I can't even explain. Actually, maybe I can make it make sense because I can say it in words instead of having to type it out. So, a friend of mine, they won the King Charles Coronation Medal. Basically, people in the Commonwealth, whenever a new royal gets crowned, so many people in every Commonwealth country gets a medal from their king for work that they have done in their either that contributes to their communities in extraordinary ways or to their country. And they got theirs for extraordinary contributions to trans rights and trans laws in Canada, which is really, really cool. However, it's very colonial, and they are French, Quebecois French, and the French hate the king or royalty more so than people who would want Canada to be a republic. And so they wanted to have someone cross stitch them a guillotine that they can frame and put the medal inside of the guillotine. So I designed a guillotine to match the specifications and scale of the metal in colors that matches their they teach law at University of Alberta. Yeah, yeah, University of U of A. Um, and so it's going to hang in their office at university at work. And I it's very mischievous. It feels almost like I am like doing because mischief, there's a criminal definition of mischief that's actually like criminal, and it feels like I am breaking the law in the criminal sense of doing mischief, but I'm not. And I'm like saying, oh wow. So yeah, I've been working on that in the evenings, and so between that and then um, working out at the gym has me using dumbbells. Where at home, the Vitruvian trainer, um, it's not even though it's like you get the force of dumbbells, it's just not the same. The handles fit more because I have such small hands. There's no strain on my hands when I'm working out at home. Holding onto a dumbbell at the gym, dumbbells are too big for my hands, and so I have to like grasp extra hard on them. Um, and so yeah, it's just my hands are very sore and swollen and tired. And it's been very difficult for me to do any fine motor skills. I've been dropping things a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. It's not been fun. But 4 more weeks, and this is done, and I get to give my body a break. Macro targets, a well-deserved break, and it's not like it's really funny because my trainer right now, this one is work like work to your max because it's right now we're trying to squeeze in as much extra growth, especially because I'm a hard gainer before the show as possible. And right now that I'm in my 4 week prep period, which means a 4 week deficit to get Cholene. Thank God I don't have to do a 16-week prep just because I am a hard gainer. And so I don't have to lose as much body fat to get show ready as most people do. Um, Anyways, it's harder to gain muscle while you're in a deficit, but I've done it before. If you get enough protein, you still can, and your body will use the protein that you're eating plus the fat that is burning to build muscle while still in a deficit. Um, so I have this instruction from my trainer to like push it as hard as you can, stretch every single muscle fiber, do it extra long lifts just to like really stretch out those muscles, tear them up so they have to be rebuilt bigger and stronger in one breath. And then in the next breath, he's all take it easy because we don't want to get injured because I am prone to injury because I'm hypermobile. So close to the show. And being autistic is like, which one is this? Do you want me to work 110% or do you want me to take it easy? I don't know how these two are supposed to work hand in hand. And what he say is like um, extra listen, like make sure I'm listening to my body and stopping at the first sign of pain or injury because I have a really bad habit of if something feels tweaked, I'll be like, oh, it's nothing, and continue. Um, and then all of a sudden I'm injured because I have over stretched a muscle because I am hypermobile. So it is a bit opposite. Exactly. Like that's the whole problem. It is completely opposite. But it's like it's to give myself some self-restraint. Because if I don't have the instruction to have some self-restraint, I will injure myself. Because if somebody tells me to go full throttle, I will burn the engine out, if that makes sense, right? Like I won't listen to the check engine light. And so, um, but still my brain has to constantly, well, I'm supposed to be pushing this beyond my limits. And so it's constantly, okay, wait a minute. Like the other day, I don't know what it is, but I keep tweaking my left tricep to where it inserts into um, oh, my shoulder, the side of my shoulder. There's a specific term for it. Delts, my side delts. So there's like three different parts of your tricep, and one part of it inserts into your side of your shoulder. And I keep tweaking it, and I don't know how. And so it's like, okay, it's tweaked. Instead of doing the weight that is prescribed, I need to back off on the weight. Because if I don't back off on the weight, then what will probably happen is that it will become so tweaked that I won't be able to lift weight whatsoever. So it's just being extra mindful while I'm lifting and not. So delivery day, cook HelloFresh here. Um, Not over pushing myself because I'm too extra, especially when I have a goal in mind. I'm tenacious. I can't. Nobody can tell me to stop. So I have so many saved messages. I screenshot messages from my trainer that really make me laugh, especially when he's calling me out on stuff. He's like, I want to tell you to take a week off, but I know you're not gonna listen, so I'm not gonna bother. And I'm like, way to call me out. It's just, I mean, it cracks me up. Like I like that he knows that there's no point in telling me something. Like when he knows when to push back and the things that I will listen to, but he still is like, I don't like. He still has to let me know what he thinks. And I like the fact that we have that type of relationship where he can call me out and he knows full well I'm not going to listen to him. But maybe it's not going to, like, maybe the one time I will actually listen and there will be some benefit to it, right? So he was so relieved when I said, I'm taking these 2 weeks off after my first competition. And even though I feel like I was having a really hard time recovering after that first, like my first, I'm on a deal, finished this is my last day of my deload week. So my first I trained really hard for 2 weeks, 1 week deload, repeat. And we were talking this past week that the reason why I've been so successful, the best thing I could have ever done for my training, the reason why I've been so successful and made so much huge progress is because I came up with this schedule of 2 weeks on, 1 week very, very light weights. It's more aerobic than anything, but it's still lifting weight, right? But it's more aerobic focused weightlifting. And before I came up with this schedule, I was having like every month or so, I was having to take a week off because I was either getting sick or getting injured or just feeling completely tanked. And it's been over 18 months since I've had to take off any time of training because I've come up with this system. And then at the end of every third 6 week training cycle, I take a recovery week where all I do is cardio, not lift a single weight. And the amount of cardio I do, it all depends on what my body is telling me. Do I need to take this day off or do I feel like I could go for, and the amount of cardio I do is 50% of what I would do if I were training. So instead of doing a 1.5 hour bike ride, I do 45-minute bike ride. Which for me, for most people, 45 minutes is extra. For me, that's a light ride. um, what was the point of this? Yeah, so, yeah, oh yeah, so because I'm pushing, at the beginning of, like, by the end, so my first week of this last 2 weeks of heavy training, um, my heart rate, normally my resting heart rate sits around 52 beats a minute. I was having, like, it was all the way up in the mid to high 50s, which is still low, but it's high for me. Um, and by the end, and I was having like so much post-workout pain, like I was having, um, oh shit, I think that I did this wrong. I think I have to cover over it. Yes, I did do it wrong. We'll fix it. This one's an easy one to fix. My body just was not recovering. And even now that I'm like, normally when this happens, when my body starts showing signs of stress because I'm overexerting myself, normally my deload week, my heart rate goes back down to my normal, all that other stuff at the end of this deload week. And it's also one of the reasons why I'm having a hard time braining and I'm just so tired. My heart rate has gone down, but still not anywhere near normal. So even with a lot lower workout load and exercising for 50% amount of the time as I typically would. So not only are my like deload weeks lighter, they're also 50% shorter. My body's not recovering um, as it typically would. So again, another sign that my body really needs. It is long overdue that I take some time off. Okay, where are we? Do this again for the next week. What will happen? Oh wait, no, I have to color this side. Sometimes I forget that there's this whole other, this right here. This is like how I get my everything ready to set up when it comes time for me to do my meal planning. And then I'll show you in a minute once I just finish doing this. Eventually what would happen is I put in, like I have ranges for, I'll show you a finished one. It's coming week. Oh, I have a whole other thing I need to talk about. Rest is best, yes. So here's my upcoming week, and I don't mind actually showing my calories for once. Normally I wouldn't because I'm actually eating quite a bit of food. Um, so what happens is, and I just did this before going on. So I have ranges. So this is my protein, carbs, fat ranges. Like there's a range that I can eat in, and then I have ideal targets that I want to hit, and my carb targets change from day to day depending on what type of, like on days that I'm doing upper body, my carb needs are not as much as on days that I do lower body, because the bigger the muscle it is that you're moving, the more carbs you need. And then on my rest days, I need a normal amount of carbs. So I have my normal amount of carbs, my medium amount of carbs, and then my high carb days. And all of that is determined based off of what type of exercise day I'm having. So yeah, so we start off where it's just lines, and then I color it in, and then I write in my targets, both my ranges, ideals, like if I can plan to hit it as close as possible. It can still be over or under, but that's like ideally. And then my calorie targets for each day. And again, those fluctuate based off of what my meat like how I'm exercising that day. And then the week before, so I just did this morning. See, all this is blank right now. So I write in my exercise notes. I track my active time throughout the day, and then what my finished macros are. So here's what it looks like when it's done. And so I write this stuff in, and then how I'm exercising, like what exercises I'm doing, what type of training day it is at the top here. So right now, and I don't, so I do for the meal planning of it, because I meal plan like up to 6 weeks in advance, when I'm setting stuff up, I only do this part of it. And then I finish setting up this part of it the week before, because that's just how I like to do it. That's how it works for my brain. And I have to figure out new targets for when I go back to training in May. Gosh. And then for these notes, I will put stuff that my trainer tells me right now. I'm tracking an injury. My right elbow. I bruised my bone. I think some of you remember that. I fell. I bruised the bone. When did that happen? Because it's still not healed. Bruised bones, man, they take forever. So I bruised my bone February 3rd. And here we are, and it's still not healed. Like, I still can't even like lying on my side in bed, if I at all rest it, like even just like the lightest little pressure on it sends me through. It's so painful. Debbie is saying it takes a while to heal. Yeah, it's like I have broken bones, and broken bones take 6 weeks to heal, and I'm now almost on 2 full months of my. Nice to see you, by the way, Debbie. Hi. Yeah, it's almost taking me 2 full months now for this bruised bone to heal, and I'm also hoping, once I'm done this competition and I have these 2 weeks off where I'm not training, even though training, the doctor, when I had it x-rayed, the doctor said it, like training will not do anything. The only thing that will do anything to it is continuing to bump it, which I have been doing, and putting pressure on it, right? So I kind of am re-injuring it every now and then because I am a klutz and I keep bumping my elbow into things. So it's not entirely a mystery why it hasn't healed. It's still, nonetheless, super annoying. Super, super annoying. And I just want it to get better. So I'm hoping that these 2 weeks off that I have after my competition, that I will not be prone to knock it on anything because I won't be moving around as much. Uh, I have such a mess. Such a mess. Yes, I'm gonna continue on in this. I always want to think that I want to add stickers to it after the fact. Like I have my Wednesdays, my breast days, I just color in because nothing gets written there. I always think I want to put like some type of, I don't know, it makes me like, oh, Monster Co. No, but there's something else there. What is, you know who I'm talking? Cookie? No, not Cookie Monster. Who am I talking about? Where's my phone? You know who I'm talking about. Um, Monster. Jesus, Jules. Oh, that reminds me of something hilarious. Hold on. Monsters Co. stickers. Helen, yes. I always think I want to buy like her stickers, her like workout or exhaustion stickers, rest day stickers. She has like rest stickers and put them on my Wednesdays, which now I can't find. But then those ones are too small. Coffee Monsters Co. Thank you. Yes, those ones are too small, and I keep trying to find stickers that could fit there that kind of show. Do I have them handy? Like I found, oh, do I have them handy? So these are like the perfect size, except for I got them. And these, I mean, this cat looks happy, and I could, no, that's too big. But this cat, I mean, looks frustrated and sad, and that's not the right. These ones look are cuddling, but they still look like they're a little bit annoying. With a Z, yes, Coffee Monsters Co. Yeah. So I mean, these cats are hugging, and you think they would be happy, but their faces, I mean, they're adorable. They are absolutely adorable, but they look like they're a little bit annoyed with like, what are these two doing? Like, I don't under. Anyways, they're adorable, and I bought them. I will find like they will go into my personal journal, my everyday, my daily how I'm doing actual like thoughts journal. But I bought them hoping that I could use them in here for to donate when I'm resting. And the online page, I don't know, I didn't pay attention enough to see their facial expressions when I bought it. I just thought, oh, they're cute cats and they're cuddling. I want those. Uh, so yeah. So what are you doing right now, Debbie? Are you planning anything, or are you just hanging out? Did you just see the stream? I wanted to say hi. Ranges, ideals. And I can actually on this one put low, medium, high. I'm gonna finish. Actually, I just don't know. I'm just gonna do the protein, carbs, and fat because I can do big swooshing. You're hanging out. Cool. Big swooshing motion for this. Writing words. My hands are just so cramped up right now. but I can at least do the protein, carbs, fat. Does anyone have questions? Since I'm in, this is one I've done a walkthrough of this before. I think it was like 4 weeks ago now, but this is like the first time there's like any type of planning, like people actually can see the process of how I do setting it up for week to week planning in it. I also, at one point, I have to get back into it though, has started doing my daily energy check-ins at the bottom, as well as like how I slept and my overall mood. And I stopped doing that. And I need to, like, I quickly fell out of that. 2 weeks. 2 weeks I lasted doing that. I need to start doing it again because the more that I can track, like I track it in other places, but the more I can keep that information in with how I'm feeling, because it helps me also determine whether or not I'm overtraining, or like once I am done my competition, oh, I'm not doing that, and I have my 2 weeks off, I have to start eating at a surplus again to build even more muscle for my next competition, whether that be in July because I qualified for the pro qualifiers, or whether that be in September for Naturals Regional in Vancouver. How I'm feeling also helps determine whether or not I'm actually eating at a surplus, at enough of a surplus. Because sometimes I screw that up and I don't eat enough. Oh, yeah, so a thing I wanted to talk about. It makes no sense to me. Because I watch a lot, because I'm writing, for people who don't know, I'm writing another food book. And it is, my agent and I finally came up with a title, whether or not it stays the title when it gets published. Um, but the working title, the one that we're going to go out on submission with, is called Let Them Eat Cake, Eating for Fun and Fitness. And just to explain it for people who are new here, it is an anti-diet culture food and fitness book. It's how to eat for fitness without restricting any type of foods. And that doesn't matter if you're in a deficit because you want to lose fat, whether you're eating at maintenance because you want to do body recomposition, which is like the best thing to do, if you can get away with it, or eating at a surplus because you need help to gain muscle. Um, how you can support that with, while still basically like not first eating foods that's delicious, because there's this thing called, and I posted about this on social media the other day. I don't know what is worse: the cleanse culture that permeates fitness spaces, with clean eating, cleansing, all that nonsense, or the sad bodybuilding restrictive diet, which is basically eating some ground protein, rice, sweet potatoes, and maybe broccoli. It is really unhealthy, really, really unhealthy. And at least with cleanse culture, you are getting micronutrients. The sad bodybuilding diet, you're not getting the micronutrients you need, and a lot of them have to take copious amounts of um, supplements that, had they only been eating properly, like balanced diet, having their fruits and like eating for flavor and fun, and not acting like you have to eat flavorless, horrible food. Like it's a really bad way of eating. It is really unhealthy. Um, and I think it's because nobody's taught them how to do food. Anyways, it's fun and nutritious and delicious and can suit any type of culturally appropriate diet, meaning in what you eat in a day. And right now, for my prep period, I'm actually sharing on Blue Sky all my meals as I'm eating them so people can see how you can actually eat delicious, flavorful, foods and have desserts while you're also eating for whatever fitness goal. My fitness goal right now is losing fat to become show lean for my competitions. And this is all to say, I was watching a competition prep video the other day from a bodybuilder who's literally twice my size. And I'm a natural bodybuilder. They take PEDs. Debbie's saying very cool, thank you. They take PEDs, which is performance enhancement drugs. And when you take performance enhancement drugs, you lose weight, fat, super easy. So not only are they twice my size, they're also taking drugs. And what makes no sense to me is they should be eating at least twice what I'm eating, just based off of that alone while they're in a prep period, and they eat less than I do. And they have difficulties. They have a really hard time with it. Really hard time with it. And they talk about how that like losing is a struggle. It makes no sense. And then I think it dawned on me the other day. I think maybe they don't move outside of the gym because on paper there should be absolute like there should be no reason why on paper it should not be possible that I eat more food than them and lose more fat than they do more easily. Like it should be theoretically, physically, chemically impossible. Absolutely impossible. The only way that it makes sense is that they don't move outside of the gym. And I wish I could ask them questions like, how am I eating more food than you? And like I just it makes no sense whatsoever. And that has to be the piece because you burn most of your going to the gym is not a key. If you want to lose fat, going to the gym is not going to be the thing that helps you the most. The thing that's going to help you the most is moving more throughout the day because you can control like going to the gym is like just a small little bounce in burn that's variable where if you were to the reason why they say get your steps in, it doesn't have to be stepping though. It could be getting on a stationary bike. It could be doing dance breaks, knitting, sewing, cooking, housework, all of that stuff, moving, fidgeting, all of that stuff is more conducive to fat loss than going to the gym is. I'm not saying don't go to the gym. I'm just saying before you go to the gym, focus on moving more during the day. Oh, I missed a spot. Anyways, it has to be that they're not moving throughout the day. They have to be. There's just no. And because of my job, like minimum 4 hours a day, I am moving while I'm working. And that's just the nature of my job. And that has to be the difference. And I have to learn what this difference is before I write my book because I have to be able to give people like real advice of why for my whole entire prep, I'm going to give it a calorie number. I'm going to be eating over 2,000 calories a day. The average diet like that is I'm eating more calories per day than what the average daily recommendation is, and I'm a tiny person. I am a very short king. I am compact, um, and it has to be because I move. So that's just, anyways. I feel like I need to reach out to these bodybuilders who are eating under 2,000 calories a day in their like 4 weeks leading up to competition. It is unhealthy how little they are eating because they should be eating if they move like me, like they should be eating more. I'm eating more than them. It makes no sense. So that's a thing that my brain has been having a really difficult time with um, explaining. And I there should no like I write posts. I have I think I put the link is in the comments where people can check out where I write about fitness and nutrition. I'm pretty sure not the comments in the description. I'm pretty sure there's a link there. Um, because I don't. If you ever have to eat under 2,000 calories a day, something is wrong. There is no reason why you should not be successful at whatever your body composition goal is. Um, yeah, 2,000 calories a day should be your floor. And yeah, and it has to be movement outside of the gym. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense. But I need more information. Anyways, it's baffling me, and it's a puzzle piece that I really need to solve. Everyone says this, or everyone on paper it should not be. I was also like reading a whole like the organizers of my competition like gave out like advice, and they're also like for prep for competition, and they don't really have meal plans or anything, but they like part of their prep is like to mentally prepare us, and like you need to be mentally prepared for the fact that you're going to be living on 1,500 to 1,700 calories a day. And like, no, there is something wrong there. There is absolutely something wrong there. That is a dangerously low amount of calories, especially for someone who is 2 times my size and taking performance enhancement drugs. Dangerously low. So that's my little rant about that. Don't watch those videos. They're dangerous. They make me sad. And my book is not going to be written and published soon enough because there has to be some. There's just no. The gym bro diet culture is far more dangerous, I think, than any of the other fitness stuff that's out there, except for The Biggest Loser. That is also super dangerous. Um, and what's her pickle? Jillian, what's her name? Don't listen to her either. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other people you shouldn't listen to, but her specifically. And I'm like saying the types of calories you eat seems to play a role in as as well as ultra processed foods, especially. Yes. So, and in this case, though, they're all not eating ultra processed foods. They are. It's like it's all whole foods, but it's without flavor, and it's the same for maybe 5 things. Um, and it's just no variety, no flavor, boring, and they have this attitude that you have to eat this like it's you have to food has to be not fun. It has to be painful to reach your goals, and you just have to suck it up, Buttercup. Like it is a really unhealthy. And there goes my video. So I'm gonna finish my thought before I say goodbye. Um, it's just really, really unhealthy. But I'm to finish the ultra processed foods. A part of that is 2,000 calories. Jillian Michaels, yes, 2,000 calories ultra processed is not the same as 2,000 calories from minimally processed and the whole process because the ultra processed food does part of the digestion process for you, and so your body um, absorb like it's you burn more calories digesting whole foods versus ultra processed foods, and that's why that comes into play. And it's about 100 calories a day difference is how that works out too, which in the long run makes a difference. And with that, thank you for everybody who tuned in. Thank you for everybody who participated in chat. It was nice seeing you. Again, I will be scheduling on Friday, and if I can't schedule on Friday for next Saturday, I will again put a message in the community tab if it doesn't look like I'm going to be here. Otherwise, I will see you on Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. British Daylight Time, since they will be springing forward as well. I think tomorrow. Oh, maybe it is next weekend. Oh, maybe. I don't know. It might actually be 1 more week. So 9 p.m., 1 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. You go and look online to see when that's going to be, because I might be wrong about when daylight saving is happening there. Like this video to help others find it. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and I will see you all next time. Have a safe